But if you're watching this after the stream, you guys should be able to see this part or somewhat around this part. And we're going to wait till I can make sure chat over here can hear and see me. And once you guys do, let me know in chat, and then we will get started right here with Ferry the Dead. So, about a minute delay. Let me know when you guys can hear and see. It looks like it is starting to load up for most people. All right, can you guys hear me fine? All right, it looks like we're good. So, we are going through the mic, so sometimes we have issues, but it seems like we're good. Okay, so here we are with Ferry the Dead. This is the long stream I've been talking about. This one might take a while. This one could be over an hour easily. So get ready. It's going to be a long stream, but it's going to be fun. And here he is. I saw a question beforehand why he's not on the box, because usually the prop boxes all have the designs on them. This was a back-ordered Ferry the Dead. This was one of the first ever to ship out. I ordered it the second it came out. I got it so fast because this was by far my favorite when it came out. So I ordered it as fast as I could, and it was one of the first to ship out, and the first few didn't have any box art. They later had small box art, and now this year they have giant, normal Home Depot box art, which looks awesome. But this was one of the early models, but it's awesome, so let's get into the unboxing here. So we have a lot of pieces, and it's going to be hard to show because these are huge pieces. This thing is about 8 or 9 feet long and then over 6 feet tall. So huge boat, huge prop, and we're building an entire animatronic and an entire boat here. Angela Cahill, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Here is the vacuum form type piece on the front. These are all just blow molded and vacuum form type pieces. And this is the kind of section where the skeletons lie, because it comes with 2 different skeletons, and they're kind of laying on the front, and that blends into that piece. Yes, every piece is huge. Here is one of the, here's the skull that goes on front of the boat. I love this. I think the purple type shading looks incredible. Looks so cool. It's got the red LEDs, which look great with fog. That thing is just awesome and huge as well. Giant skull for the front of it. Everything about this thing is absolutely massive. I'm so excited to see it set up again because this is, I think, one of the coolest concepts we've ever seen for retail. Here is one of the paddles pieces, I guess you could say. It's got the long oar, and it kind of looks like a scythe, but it uses it to paddle the boat. We have, and that moves as well. We have another piece, but I don't want to rip it out because I feel like something could break there. Here's one of the skeletons. I think this guy is so worth the price. He was $3.99 retail, and still is, I believe, still sold. But here's one of the skeletons. And the reason is because you're getting 2 skeletons, an entire 8 or 9 foot boat, and an animatronic. So it's pretty awesome. The Roaming Reaper, thank you for the $1 donation. All right, let's take out what we can. We have this. This thing is giant. Look at that. This is the front, it looks like, of the boat. I'm going to move that just a bit because we're already running out of room over here. There's also a ton of screws. But not what you're thinking. It's not like metal screws. It's decor screws, but they're actually physical screws as well. It's weird. Here, I'll show this. So basically, they give you kind of a screwdriver for it. Let me see if I can find that. I'm not sure if I actually have the screwdriver anymore. It doesn't look like I do. But basically, this is what they look like. They're large plastic screws. They're painted to look like metal, or a goldish metal. And they are going to screw into the ship and actually hold some pieces together, but also act as decor. JV Jonah, thank you for the $1 donation. We have another skeleton down here, which is upside down. There he is. I do like these. They just look so cool. The whole color scheme of this guy is just dark, which is awesome. It looks really good. I think in a laser swamp is where it looks best. That's where I used it because it makes sense for a ship. Here is the waterproof control box. It's facing downwards. No water should be able to get in this. And even if it accesses stuff, it's got screw-on plugs. So completely waterproof there. we have, let's see, I think the Ferry himself, or what Phantom, I guess you'd call this, is the next piece. He has a light-up skull in there, and then just a very detailed, nice quality robe. Here's one of his hands. The other hand might be with him as well. I didn't see it. Oh, it's still down in the box. But there he is. Really cool. I am doing a laser swamp again. Hopefully a bit improved. I do want to improve it this year. Probably better fog machines and also just better lighting. Let's see, how heavy is his box? His box is about 98 pounds, I believe. About the same as the 12-footers. Makes sense. It's a lot going on. All right, so I have another piece right here. This is another piece of the ore. 2 pieces, actually, but they are clipped on, so I'm not going to take them apart. Looks pretty good. It's got another skull on the top. Definitely very skull-themed piece, skeleton-type theming here. We have the back of the boat. I love this, too. Carries a lantern on the back, and it kind of reminds me of the Nightmare Before Christmas hill. Just has a cool shape there. We have the lantern that actually goes on this piece. I love this too. There's just so many little features that comes with this guy that make it so worth it. Here this is, you can operate it even without the ship. Definitely looks better in the dark, but hopefully you guys can tell that did turn on. It flickers as well, has a flame light inside, and then we can also turn it off there. Really cool. Love that you can use it with or without because you can just hook it right on there. So we have another arm right here. We have lots of boat pieces, which I don't have room for. So we're going to have to move this box in a second. Here's one of the boat pieces. This is a very small portion of the boat, but it is still very large. All right, let's slide the box over, and I'm just going to bring prop pieces over. We have one piece right here. This is another smaller portion of the boat, although it is still big blow molded piece. Another portion of the boat right here. Bombshell Slashers, thank you for the $5 donation. Will you get Cellar Dweller? I don't plan to. I've seen too many deform, and I think he might look cool in the laser swamp, but I don't really have a need for him. It's already going to be pretty packed, especially if I get Barry for the laser swamp. But Cellar Dweller is a great concept, and I like his motion a lot. Here is the base right here. This is the base, not to the boat, but the base to the Phantom himself. We have the base to the boat, which is in many pieces. Here's 2 pieces right here. We have another piece right here. This is for the boat still. We have stakes, it looks like he includes, which is cool. They're like actual nails, pretty much, just long nails. That's actually awesome. Here are 2 more boat base pieces. Or actually those, yeah, those are boat base pieces. Here are 2 leg poles, I think. Yeah, these are J, so these are leg poles for the Phantom. We have 1 giant side piece for the boat. Huge. And then finally, I think our last piece in the box is another giant side piece. Bombshell Slashers, thank you for the $5 donation. Will you get Spike or Rat Girl? I love both. I'm not sure about either yet. I do want Spike. I don't remember how much he is, but I love his motion and his look. Rat Girl is awesome, but again, I don't really have a perfect spot for her, but I love her too. I love the eyes so much. Okay, I'm going to take out the instructions just in case. Here's the instructions, really fancy, cool looking instructions. Got a whole manual here. You can flip through full colored, great quality images, and the completed look right there if nobody's seen it. That's what it looks like when it's fully set up. So we have a giant build now. Let's get started here. Let's make sure you guys can see down here. Okay. We are going to move some stuff out of the way. There's going to be a lot of moving this stream because there's just a ton of pieces. We are going to do the Phantom next. Let's do the Phantom next. We'll start with the boat. I think that's what they recommend anyways. When's Mr. Dark? That will be when we can go do the larger items upstairs. So that won't be just yet. That will be the, not ending streams because those are professional stuff, but the later streams when we can go upstairs. Because he does not fit down here. He's too big. So I am going to want to get these instructions ready. But I want to make sure you guys can see everything here because there's a big setup going on right now. So I'm going to slide all of these pieces out of the way. We don't need any of this just yet. That's mostly phantom pieces. We don't need any of this stuff just yet, or that. So we're starting with everything over here. There are a ton of holes under here as well that we need. Okay, so these are all labeled. We have, let's see, I don't know what the easiest to start with would be. Probably attaching one of these. We want to make sure these flat pieces, the flat steel, this is all steel, is on the floor. Actually, no, it looks like that will be up. Oh yeah, it is up because there are stakes and stuff that will hold that. This is E over here, so that makes sense. That clicks in right there. Okay, this is gonna be kind of wobbly until we get that next piece on. We have F to connect to. So let's see, none of these are actually labeled F. So that must be one of this. Yep, this is E and F. So F is down here, so we're just gonna click this in over here. That is snap locked in now. And there's a lot of clips too, so a pretty strange setup. I do remember it being pretty difficult though, so we'll see how it goes. We have A and B, that's over here. These two are gonna snap together, and these should be able to hold these main two boat pieces on better, I guess. That should help. I know you guys can't see this great right now, but basically I'm just snapping together two pieces to hold these in better, like that. So that looks better now. We have this right here, which is E and F, which just fully connects the boat together. Although I'm not sure if we're supposed to snap lock that yet, because I know there's these giant pieces coming on the corners. So let's see what it wants us to do. We have the instructions right here. I'll just show this up here. So here's all of our parts. I feel like I remember it saying something about like 30 parts or more maybe. There's a ton. But it does look like we are going correct so far. It looks like, yeah, we're good to snap these on. Then next is these corner pieces. Those are difficult, I remember. So we can snap both sides in. There's F, there's E. This is all snapped together into one big piece now. We are gonna have to tilt this eventually. So, looks good. Let's get on these corner pieces. We have one piece here. I'm gonna have to figure out what way these are oriented as well, because it does matter. It looks like, oh, that's weird. I don't know. It looks like it must be like that, but I think, if you guys can see this, it's gonna connect over here. Yeah, okay. So, it shouldn't matter which side these go on, I hope. I don't think it does. And this is just gonna slide on. So it goes under the plastic, or under the metal poles down here, and then it's gonna slide together, and there's hooks that are gonna keep it in place. Now these hooks are very weird positioning. Hunter Hans, thank you for the $1 donation. But once you get them, it very much holds it tight. Let's see. There we go. Better position now. Now I can hook one hook on and get our other hook on as well. Hopefully that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Pretty seamless there. Okay, so that lines up well. Now, these areas, if you can see this, are where these fake screws go on. We have another piece right here. This is this side. Hopefully you guys can kind of see this back here. This is gonna do the same thing, just slide in place. There's like these buckle type sections, and then it just clips on like that. There's one similar to just like a box, I guess, carrying case. Uses something like that. These are gonna screw together over there, so we don't need to worry about that yet. Let's slide this down, because now we're gonna do these two. Same thing, just come over here, we have this piece. All right. The first time I set this thing up, it took about 2 hours. So far this is going a lot faster. But that was a long setup that first time. Because he's a pretty intense one. This is definitely not something I'd recommend for a beginner. And it is a very expensive one as well. But if you can afford it and you trust that you can set it up, it is definitely worth it. This is a really cool one. Let's slide this under there. All right, now this is when it gets tricky with the pins because it's all getting pulled a bit more. There we go, got that one. This one should be easier now that we have that on. Okay. All right, that's still working. One more piece, and this is gonna have to connect down there with screws as well. I'll show the screws after this. Here's our last piece right here. Hopefully you guys can see most of this boat. There's still more to add on too, but it's just massive as you can tell. Pretty much a full-size boat. How much was Ferry of the Dead? He was $3.99, and I think he still is, if he's still available, which there was a newer version. I just don't know if it's sold this year. Bombshell Slashers, thank you for the $2 donation. What is your opinion on Faceless Scarecrow? I think he is really cool. Now, I don't know if I like him better than the Flaming Scarecrow, but Faceless is really cool. I like the way the face lights up. It looks awesome. And also the jump scare with both arms closing in is way cool. I think that will totally scare people. I think it might even grab people because Flaming Scarecrow definitely hits some people. But it's cool. I think it's awesome. If I had a bigger Scarecrow section, I'd totally get it. But I don't have any Scarecrow props. So this is ready to be screwed together. Let's get one side first. Let's slide this down. Anyone know how much spirit displays break down? They break down a fair amount. It depends on what display you're talking about. Risers don't break down too easily, but most pieces break down very well and pretty flat as well. So we have some screws to put in over here now. It looks like we actually have some fake ones on this side. These are fake, all along there. But the real ones go along this side and actually hold it together. So we're gonna put these in now. And you probably want to use a real screwdriver for this part. Or not a real screwdriver because that actually wouldn't fit. But you'd want to use the one it includes, which I don't have mine. And I did have one for another prop, which was the rocking chair witch. But I got rid of her as well. So I can probably find a replacement screwdriver for that. And SVI could probably send one as well. But it's not too needed as long as you can get it clicked in place as well as possible. It should be fine. Try to screw this one in too. I got the bottom one in already. Now it's just this one that needs to be screwed in just a bit. All right, and that is good right there, although there are more screws. I don't know where. Oh, down here. Here's the rest. There's a lot of screws, and just because we have this many, I'm going to put some more in. Technically, you only need one at the bottom and the top for it to be secure, but we'll put these other ones in too, just to be safe. All right, there's one right there. We'll get this one up here. They're not exactly perfectly lined up either, so they can't go in all the way, but that looks good right there. So, don't need this one, but this is good now. That is secure. So we have this other side. Let's slide this all the way down. Keep our screws out over here. We're gonna slide this down some more. Now we have these screws. So this time the decor side is on this side and the side with the real screws is over here. So you guys can actually see this part. So we're gonna line these up and we're gonna screw them in as much as we can with our hands. Usually you can go a bit farther. They give you just an oversized plastic screwdriver. Bombshell Slashers, thank you for the $2 donation. Will you get Teary the Clown? I'm still deciding on him. I do love Teary, and I didn't know he had the side-to-side head until recently when we found out he did, because in the demo he wasn't doing that. So that was exciting, and for $200, that's pretty impressive. He has an awesome look, Cool color scheme. That's not something we see with clowns much. That's a more professional type look. The mouth movement looks good as well. And the overall just look of him is so cool. And I like the flowers. The flowers were a cool touch. I think if the flowers were fogging, that would be awesome. But yeah, he is a really cool prop. So actually, let's move the camera about right here, and we can slide the boat down about there. So you guys should see most of the boat now. Yeah, you can see all that. So that looks good. Let's look over here, because we're gonna assemble this side. Now, this gets weird. Let's check, because this obviously looks the exact same. You don't really know what side is what. And they're labeled the exact same as well. So it might not actually matter. Let's see. It doesn't look like anything matters yet. It looks like there's a 1 and a 2, which are the connection pieces for the main front piece. But it looks like it doesn't really matter what side it goes on. So I guess we'll just put it on. Yeah, it seems like we're fine. It does say there is a boat front and boat back, but there's doesn't seem to be a difference, so I think we're good. Let's put on this piece right here. This is the front of the boat. We'll just put the front. Hold on. Okay, we'll put the front on over here. Hold on. Actually, let's move this up. This is a pretty tall piece. Okay, put it on this side like this. So this is actually, one thing we are gonna have to do is remove this top screw. I didn't see that. This top screw is gonna have to just come out real quick because it actually goes through all 3 pieces. So we'll take this out quick. There we go. And this just goes in the middle of these 2 sections, and then the screw goes through all 3. So this should be able to click down really nice, actually. That's awesome. And then this can screw back in, and this holds all 3 pieces together now. So that's awesome. Okay, now looks good. Let's move on to this side over here. We can put on our back of the boat. You guys can tell this thing is already huge, and it gets even bigger. This piece is going to do the same. Oh, again, got to remove that screw we put in the top. Try to take this out really quick. Oh, actually, that's the decor screw. Wrong side. Forgot they flip it. Try to take this out. There we go. All right. Yeah, it is huge. What do you like more, Lucky Bottoms or Monty? I think Monty, but they're close. I do love Lucky Bottoms, but I'd probably go with Monty. Monty's just really cool. All right, let's put this on top. This is going to go in the middle of these 2. Slide right in, position everything, and now we will screw this screw back in, holding everything together again. So that's awesome. This thing is already looking amazing. So let's just hang the lantern while we can back here. While we're back here, it's good to do. This is just going to go around like this and hang right there. So that's battery operated. It can go right away. Doggy Days, thank you for the $1 donation. So yeah, that can just go whenever you want. Now let's go back over here. Background's kind of distracting over here with Jack. But next, we're going to add this skull on. This skull attaches like a 12-footer. It's kind of weird. And actually, I got that the wrong way. It goes like this and then twists into place. Sounds like it's going to break, but it's not. It just snaps right in, and now it's good. There's also a button on the bottom to turn on the lights, which we'll do later. And we should definitely get a dark demo of this because he does look awesome in the dark. So we're looking good here. Now we have this piece, which is the skull section. And this, let's see where this goes. I don't remember which side this goes on. This looks like it goes on this side over here. And I never was able to actually attach this correctly. This piece never fit on for me. It might just be my model. Sometimes other ones work better than others, but I don't know. Mine never worked. We'll see what happens this time. It slides up and just clicks in as well as it can. but usually that's as far as it gets for me, right there. Now, it looks like there's a pole or something that must have to go across this, because that's not going to keep it up by itself. Let's see. This must hold it up right here. There must be a pole that's supposed to be across, but I don't know if I have that. It's not that. So, I don't know. There's basically, let's see. It doesn't exactly show right here because the skulls are already on. Let's see if it shows on this page. It doesn't show on this one either. So I'm not sure what to do about that piece. There is a bar that's already supposed to be across that though. So it's both labeled I. Let's see. This is one I, this one's both I. Let's try this one. It doesn't really fit, but it kind of works. That's not exactly how it's supposed to look there, but it's in pretty well. So I guess we'll use that. Now this is just gonna go up and then click down onto that piece. And that holds a lot better. I do want to get this under the panels if we can though. Although that's like really strong in there, so maybe we don't want to mess with that. I think that looks good enough right there. So I'm not gonna mess with that because that's actually really good now. That's like solid in there. So now we have, oh, Haunt Matter, thank you for the $2 donation. Why is there a Office chat in the Discord? Office is my favorite series, and a lot of people in the Discord actually requested it. So that is a chat now. I know it's not used too much, but I think it's funny, and memes sent in there of Office stuff. But yeah, here, there is, that piece is. So now we have 13. 13 goes down on one of the sides, but this is always confusing. Now I think it's this side, but I don't know where. And actually, hold on. This is C and D go over here. It looks like there's another I and I over on this side. So I'm not sure. It's pretty weird how this piece, or how this holding works. It looks like it goes like this though, which would mean this is actually on the wrong side. And that would make a lot more sense to be on this side. But there is Velcros, and I don't know why there would be Velcros if this was going here. But yeah, it does look like that's how it's gonna go. Because basically, we have this piece in here, which I know you guys can't really see, but this is for the skeletons. Bombshell Slashers, thank you for the $5 donation. Will you get Ripping Reaper of Souls? I want him very bad. If I can find one for a good price, definitely. He is awesome. That thing is really cool. So, yeah, C and D attached there, and that's the only side where there is a C and D. So, I think we definitely have this completely flipped. Let's try to push that down. There we go. So now we have these skeletons, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, those are going to go on like that. So this is completely backwards. Let's take out this first piece over here. We don't need to take off the skull. We can keep that on for now. We just have to take off the screw down here. All right. So that should be out. Close. It's kind of pushing on it. Can try to go in from the inside here. There we go. So close. It's not exactly coming out though. There's nothing to push on. It's kind of weird how this is made right there because it doesn't really want to come out. So we're gonna have to kind of do that. There we go. So there's that piece out now. Now let's slide this all over. All right. And now we'll do the same thing over here. Take this piece out. We'll just tilt the boat over a bit again. That's kind of the easiest way to push this out. Oh, close. I'll have to get a bit more room here. That sounded like something fell. Not this, though. Nope, still not out. Try to slide a bit more. All right, fully sideways here. Alicia Rachel, thank you for the, uh-oh, I missed it. Thank you for the $20 donation. Who is your favorite character from The Office and why? Good question. That is difficult, but I think I have to go with Michael. I know it's a popular choice, but Michael's awesome and probably the funniest in my opinion. But yeah, he would probably be my favorite. Doggy Days, thank you for the $2 donation. Will you get Hooded Phantom or Rising Creepy Doll. I've wanted the Rising Creepy Doll for a very long time. Hooded Phantom, I also want. I don't know if I'll be getting him because I already have too many props with that type of theming. I really don't need another, even though I do love him. All right, so let's flip these. This is going to go over here. I'm not going to lock it in just yet, just in case, because we are going to get those skeletons on, or this skeleton panel on to make sure. All right. Uh-oh. There we go. But yeah, I have actually watched The Office over 17 times now, all the way through. So definitely my favorite series. All right, let's put on these skulls. Hopefully this is the right side now. Now actually, let's take eye. Let's see if this actually fits better this time, because it really doesn't fit too well over here. So it wasn't making too much sense. Actually, this isn't really going to come out now because that fits almost too well. So let's see. We can try to use a screwdriver because technically that's not supposed to come out. So it really doesn't too easily because it really locks in there compared to most. Oh, well, there goes some of the pieces, but that did work. We got it out. So lantern's good, so we're all good there. Let's try to take this out now. Still a bit of a snap lock kind of blocking it. It's a very large plastic piece that doesn't really work with a snap lock too well. So it's very difficult to get out here. But there we go. Looks good. So let's put it on this side, then we'll get that back on. Okay, that's better. That clicks in a lot better. There we go. Okay. Now we can get this piece back on. And the reason it fell off is just because we haven't screwed this part in yet. Once we screw it in, it will not fall off again. There we go. Put this lantern back on up at the top if you guys can see this. Probably not though. So we can put the skulls on. All right, let's slide these up. Try to get this positioned as well as possible. Although, like I said, this is the piece that never really works perfect. I do want to meet the top better than this though. Okay, that's pretty good right there. That's probably the best we can get right there. Okay, so now there's two skeletons that rest along this. Just half body skeletons because they click down into the base here. One is going to go right here. And I know these are pretty difficult to get in together because they're very close. So I'm going to not snap in one yet because we're going to get this other one over here. I like that this just adds some depth to it. It's pretty cool. Now, I don't know how we should do this because they're very, very close. So close that it's almost impossible to get these together. I'm going to just raise one of the arms. That might make it a lot easier. All right. All right, hold on. Now, let's slide that down. That one actually clicked, if you guys could hear that. So let's try to slide this down. Let's, again, remove the arm. There we go. Okay, so let's put the arms back in the boat. Kind of pose them like this. I like that positioning. But you can also have the arms kind of out of the boat here, which is cool. But I like doing this. They're fully posable. I think we'll do that there. Do the same thing over on this side if it can fit. This one's going to be more difficult, so this one we can have resting out of the boat like that. Okay, so both skeletons are in now. Like that. Looks awesome. There we go. So now we have what's over here, which is lots of cloth. There's Velcros at the top of this. And there's cloth, this right here. This covers the ground. This is going to go along here. Uh-oh. Are you getting Dean the Deathologist? I plan to, actually. I don't plan to use him in the haunt. That's one of the rare ones I am planning on buying without using in the haunt. And that's because we have a bar down here in the basement, and I plan on putting him there year-round because I think that will look really cool, just as a permanent decor piece down here. I like his phrasing, I like his music, and the concept is cool, so I do plan on getting him. So, we can, I think, yeah, let's put this down now, because it'll be easier to do now than later when we have the prop to put on top of it all. but we can slide this. This, like I said, just hides the base. There are some extra Velcros that go along the base. Let's find those. They should be, this might be the closest one actually. I don't know. I think it's really just about hiding, so we can kind of just do this. I know you guys can't see this too well, but that hides the entire floor. Let's move the camera so you guys can see that really quick. Isaiah Ivy, thank you for the $2 donation. Why set up the props downstairs if you bring them up? That's a good question. I just like having the scenery down here, and I can't exactly keep these all up for that long upstairs because that is the main living space up there. So even though we have to bring them up, that will be the day of. So keeping them down here where nobody really goes other than me to set up these things is better because they can all be down here until then. So there's the floor covered up by the cloth. Just an easy little cover up just in case you're going to have them on something obvious like stone or grass that you want to cover up because it should look like a full boat. So now we have the Phantom himself. This is going to go right here, and there is a certain section that he kind of fits into, and it's right there. That looks like the section. It's either there or a bit over, but we'll see what looks better. So we have Jay. We're already on piece 20 right here, and this is just starting the animatronic because that's how many pieces there were for the boat. There's also a ton of pieces that are just screws and stuff like that, but those are already on. Okay, so that looks good. Now, let's see, we have, I think, 2 more poles, but maybe not. Oh, here, this is the piece we're missing. He did look too short there. This piece, this goes on like this onto here. He probably, I do recommend having a weight down here because when you put the not staff, but the paddle on, that's when it gets very, very front heavy. So you do want a weight on the back of his base. Doesn't have to be too much, I've found, but I do recommend putting some. There we go, especially if he's on a slant. Mine was on a slant, and that was pretty bad. So there we go, looks good. Now, the next piece is pretty much all one, other than the arms. I'm gonna grab this over here. We also have some wiring up to do. Not too much because the boat is all battery operated, so you can run that separately, but the whole animatronic needs to be wired up because he has turning and lights. He's gonna be facing this way because he's rowing forwards with the skeletons, which actually means the base here needs to be flipped a bit. There we go. Okay, click this down here. There we go, that's clicked in, and that's all one piece right there. Actually, let's leave this up. We are gonna have to do the wiring up. So, that's awesome so far. I'm gonna move this up so you guys can see this. Look at that. So, let's put on our arms. We have first arm right here with the matching hands to the rest of the color scheme, which I love. Like I said, that dark color scheme just fits it really well. I think he's an awesome, awesome looking prop. Visually, might be my favorite. I don't know. There's some that I think are just crazy cool because of what they do, but this guy visually is awesome. Let's put this in the prongs here. There we go. I remember this is pretty difficult for him because they're pretty tight. There we go. They do move around, so it makes sense because he does that rowing animation. But we're going to Velcro this up here now. Kind of all the cloth Velcros anyways, so it gets stuck pretty easily. There we go. Okay, looks good. Now when this all comes down, it'll look better here, but that looks good. We are gonna have to move this a bit because I know his oar is giant, but for now, let's get his other arm on. Isaiah Ivy, thank you for the $2 donation. How will you bring up Ferry the dead, Cuddles, etc.? We did it last year. Cuddles was actually not too bad because you take off his arms and then he's not too big. The other big ones, usually you take off a head or arms if they're upwards, and then they're fine. Ferry the dead, he can be split into 3 pretty good pieces, and then the animatronic, because they split right there and there, and then the animatronic. So that's what we did last year. You kind of have to put those 3 pieces back together, but it's not too bad. It's definitely worth setting up most of this because it is a pretty crazy setup. We getting lag here? Some people are saying lag. Hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully it comes back. Okay, so let's slide this other arm up. This one is more in the down position down here because this is holding the bottom of the oar. How much did I pay for Ferry? He was $3.99, I believe. Unbox jumping spider. Yeah, I'll probably do a stream with a lot of the smaller animatronics if you guys want, because I know there's I have a few tombstone props that people like. The jumping spiders, the attack spider, ones like that. I can do like a mini setups where I do multiple. So it is same length as a normal stream, because usually if I was just doing one at a time, it would be a really quick stream. So if I do multiple small ones, if you guys want that, we can totally do that. All right, so I have the oar right here. Now this kind of just clips in. He has 2 clips, one on each hand, and they just clip onto the oar like that. We want to make sure that skull is facing forward. And this bottom piece is going to do the same. For now, I think actually the easier thing would just be keeping off the bottom piece. For Halloween, I'll put that on, but I actually think it is better without that bottom piece for now, just because it's going to be really difficult to fit this thing in here if he has that. I'm going to try to put it through this hand back here first. Hopefully you guys can see this better now, because it's not really fitting down here. This is a pretty difficult section to get in. It actually started cracking there last year, so I want to be really careful with that piece down there. But there we go. Yeah, that definitely fits better down here. If you have more space, you can totally put on the other part, which makes his oar about 6 or 7 feet tall, I think. So we have this, and that would usually go down there. And I don't think I actually use this in my haunt either. I'm pretty sure I just put it right behind the skeletons, just as like a kind of set decor piece, because it really doesn't fit in most areas if you have a wall. So we can just throw that there, because that is the bone pile down here, because that doesn't really fit. So there it is. Let's wire him up now. Actually, it kind of looks like he's floating right now, which is cool. But let's go in here. He has 2 wires that come from the head, and that's a white wire and a black wire, and the other 2 screw into that from the control box directly. So these come up here. You're going to want to align them as well. They're actual aligning wires, so it does matter what way you put them, and then you screw them together to make him waterproof. Love that. I love that Home Depot does that. All right, we have our other one here. Same thing, we want to align it. A bit harder to do because this is the darker wire. But there we go. And the cap actually fell down. So I'm going to just screw that on a bit. There we go. All right, so it looks to be fully wired up now. I do want to make sure now that the settings are good. So it looks like we're good. I am going to want to trigger it to check volume, because it doesn't look like there is a plus and minus. So let's see. We can. Where will you put Colossus? Colossus will be the entryway prop. Right now he is in the storage unit. But yeah, he is going to be the entryway thing. First thing you see, kind of first thing you see when you're about to go in the haunt. All right, so making sure this adapter fits good. It's a weird shaped adapter. It's much more high tech and professional looking. So it's a bit difficult to fit in, because it does matter what way you orient the adapter. I want to make sure I'm doing this right, but it does look like I am. I don't know. There we go. It's just really difficult to get in. There's also this cap that fell down to the bottom, so I'm going to take this and screw it all the way up. Want to make sure the connection is good and also watertight. There we go. Okay. Now he is ready to be plugged in, but I want to make sure all the settings are correct. So we're going to plug him in, but also wait a second to make sure that's all good. So let's check his audio, and then we'll pause everything if it is good. Try to get him to go quick. If he doesn't start going, that means he's probably not on the correct mode. Oh, he is going. Now his audio's off. Oh, I do remember his audio is one thing I don't like.
Soul is at stake. I am the seeker of souls. I have been sailing these waters, searching for lost souls. Are you a lost soul? Come with me. Linger much longer, and your soul will be mine for all eternity.
He just says soul a ton. So I don't really like his phrasing or voice, but when it's off, it's totally awesome. The slow rowing animation is really cool. So we have, uh-oh, I missed something, I think. Let's go up. Sean Arthur Wells, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Sorry, I missed that. Thank you, Rick, for your hard work for us fans. Thank you so much. We have the lights on now. All right, so let's turn the room lights off. There we go. That should be pretty good, although that's kind of dark. So I'm going to turn on a bit more light. That should be better. All right, let's trigger him. Uh-oh. There we go.
Beware! Come no closer. Your very soul is at stake. I am the seeker of souls. I have been sailing these waters, searching for lost souls. Are you a lost soul? Come with me. Linger much longer, and your soul will be mine for all eternity.
I do like the water splashing sounds, but his phrasing is pretty bad. Let's,
Come no closer.
there we go. We can turn off the phrasing so he's silent, so we can talk. But yeah, he is awesome. Looks so cool. Let me go back down to live chat there. Okay. Yes, his face does light up. It is not shown too well in the demo, I think, but it is lighting up. It's a red skull in there. Looks pretty creepy at night. But yeah, he is an awesome, awesome prop. Got lights in the front, lights in the back, and light up head and moving animatronic. So pretty insane prop. So because this was a longer stream, let's only do 2 of the other demos, and then we will come back to this if anyone missed him. But yeah, what do you guys want to see for demos? Let's see. Monty. Monty's the first one I saw. So we are going to have to go around the box here. So let's actually move the box out of the way because I know a lot of people are going to want to see these. This is a massive box. Look at this thing. This is pretty much the size of a 12-footer, just different dimensions. It's kind of longer than a 12-footer. But here's Monty. Monty's super cool. I might be testing out something with him tonight to see how he's going to look in the haunt. Because I do have some cool plans with him. All right. He is plugged in. He's going to reset real quick. All right, let's sensor him. Sensor takes a second to warm up. There he is. Awesome. All right, one more before we go back to Ferry of the Dead. Let's see what it is. I'm going to go back and check. Let's see. All right, we're back down at live chat now. Lil Skelly Bones was the first one I saw over here. So let's go over here to Lil Skelly Bones. Here is Lil Skelly Bones. Now, he doesn't have his adapter in, and I think I put it, yeah, right here by Dead Humor. Dead Humor was the last one we used this for. So we're going to just switch these out, put this back here, and there we go. All right. He's plugged in. He's going to do a quick reset. All right, let's censor him.
3, 2, ready or not, here I come. Da 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 da.
Censor him one more time. Hold on. There we go.
For the dead and the dead will pray for you. You can pray for the dead, but the dead will pray on you.
All right, let's let him reset, just to keep that spring good. All right, there he is. So, there's little Skelly Bones. I did see a ton of punchies, so quickly let's just do one punchy, and then we'll go back to the Ferry of the Dead. Here's Punchy. All right. And then, yeah, for anyone who missed it, we'll go back to Ferry of the Dead right after this one.
Come closer. I have something to tell you. It's so funny. I promise you'll die laughing.
Censor him one more time here.
Round and round I go. Where I stop, soon you'll know.
There he is, Punchy. Punchy's really cool. Kind of worried to see how he'll hold up with wind, but if he does hold up well, then I think he's going to work perfectly for the haunt. All right, so for anyone who missed it, here's Ferry of the Dead. Let's trigger him one more time here. The eyes are on. The lantern is flickering. The lights, we'll turn off the lights here. It's plugged in now. All right. How tall is Ferry? He's over 6 foot. I don't know exactly, though. Try to get him to go here. He does take a second. There he goes. Oh, I do have his sound off now. We can turn that on if anyone wants to hear that, but sound's not too great. All right, so there he is, Ferry of the Dead. Under an hour, so that is pretty exciting. But tomorrow, I think, is Dark Angel. I hope so. Dark Angel is exciting. I hope it is him. But you guys can probably still change the vote. But yeah, if it is Dark Angel, that one will be a fairly long setup, probably not as long. But let's see. So far, it is Dark Angel, and then Clown Go Round is last. So yeah. Dark Angel, hopefully it is. Hopefully it stays, and I think it will. So Dark Angel tomorrow, expect that. He is exciting. That one won't be nearly as long. It'll probably be more around 30 minutes, and then we can do more demos tomorrow. Eric Mendoza, thank you for the $5 donation. Are you going to get Torture Box Woman? I don't really have a spot for her, but I do really love the motion. I think she looks really professional. The motion's great, but I don't know because I don't think I have a great spot. But yeah, she is really, really cool. But yeah, there he was, Ferry the Dead. We'll be back. What time? It will be at 5 p.m. Central Time. I live in the Central Time Zone, so check time zones. But yeah, we'll be back at 5 tomorrow with Dark Angel. But excited for that one. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.